Marianne's show. Today we are joined by an extraordinary visionary who is revolutionizing how we understand human behavior, potential, and leadership. Based in Lugano, Switzerland, she transitioned from a successful career as a business lawyer to pioneer a breakthrough in applied psychology. She is founder of MyMark, and I hope I'm writing the name MyMark as the career of MyMark personality test, creator of MyMark personality test, an innovative Swiss engineered assessment that utilizes unique biometric data rather than traditional self-reported questionnaires to decode human potential. A member of European Biometric Association, her work bridges the gap between our innate design and our life experiences, helping individuals and organizations unlock self-assessment, revolve, resolve conflict, and building high performing teams. Please welcome executive coach, mental trainer, and human potential pioneer, Marian Volante. How are you, Marian?
Thank you, Zafar. I'm impressed. I mean, this is really a good summary. I couldn't do it better. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled because, as you correctly say, it is very innovative, our work. And so, if I have the chance to talk about, I'm happy. Thank you for having me.
Hey, oh, great. This is my honor. Marianne, today I'm so excited to have you on the show just because we are talking real AI in terms of psychology. So, before I go into your life journey, I'll ask Marianne, Mark uses a biometric data through fingerprints analysis rather than standard questionnaires. How does shifting from a self-reported surveys to biometric profiling help individuals bridge the gap between who they think they are and their true innate strengths?
Thank you. Actually, this is what was my life journey. I was interested in human behavior already as a child, was fascinated why adults behave totally different with kids and also kids behave differently with adults. So I did a lot of courses and educations. For example, I try to find the subconscious part of the person to find out the not known, the not, as you say, the knowledge you have of yourself with graphology. And it's interesting, but still, if you know the criteria, you can manipulate. So only after my and during my law career, I discovered the science of fingerprints, and I was entered into a world I couldn't even have imagined, because the fingerprints are final in the 4th month of pregnancy and do not change until we die. When we die, they disappear. So this is the proof that it's connected. They are connected with the brain. In fact, in the 4th month of pregnancy, when the fingerprint patterns are formed, is also formed the neocortex. This explains why these designs or these patterns can tell you about how you function, who you are, how you behave, and so on, because there is direct connection with the brain. In fact, they measured that the brain sends 14 times more signals to the hand and fingers than to the whole face. This is just an example, okay? So you're completely right. This is the innovative approach, the unique approach, because the self-assessment on which most personality tests are based are biased. I tell you what I think you want to know or what I think I am, but it doesn't mean that that's the whole Marianne. And this is why, by the way, we also added the self-assessment test part into MyMark method. So we have the holistic approach. We have the nature, the innate part of the character traits, and we have the nurture, the self-assessment.
Thank you so much. Deeping dive into why you're using the fingerprints and then uh, referring to the 4 months of pregnancy and getting the fingerprints and having more signals in fingers and hands. That's amazing. So my next question is about illusions of knowledge in leadership. You've written about the illusions of explanatory depth, the idea that we often think we understand ourselves much better than we actually do. In your coaching practice, how does unmasking these hidden traits transform a manager's leadership style and decision making ability?
Mhm. Important is to know that we have this innate character, and most people don't know it. Huh? People know what they have been told, the culture, and based on culture, on environment, on education, on professional career, and so on. And with the fingerprints, you come to the source of your being and behavior. And this is the most important thing because it does not change. That's my experience. I couldn't believe it. At the beginning, I thought, no, it's not possible that there are parts in an individual which remain unchanged, which demonstrate in any type of situation, perhaps in a different way, but the basis is always the same. For example, let's take the pleaser. We have 5 profiles, and one of them is the pleaser type. The pleaser tries always to comfort others, to please others, to create harmony, to be in peace with others. So they waive their own interests, their own needs for the sake of harmony, whilst the achiever is the opposite. It's really the opposite. The achiever is in his own world, in his or her, and pursues goals, ambitious goals, and as quick as possible and as perfect as possible. So these traits came out. Now I do it almost 20 years. Repeatedly, I had the confirmation that these innate traits will manifest in practically every type of situation. But if you don't know that you have this innate mechanism, it's Freud, the famous psychiatrist, called it the subconscious. It's not the subconscious, it's the innate part of us, As long as you are not aware of it, you are prisoner or victim of these mechanisms and cannot behave accordingly or to the best of your interest, or in case of a corporation or a team, in the best interest of the team. So it's very important that you know, are you a pleaser? Are you an achiever? Are you an enthusiast? And so we have 5 different profiles. But very important, you can have combinations and you can have more than one. You can even have all 5 profiles. So it is a complex endeavor to probably to deal with this once you know it. 50%, however, have only 2 of these 5 profiles. So you can manage, and once you know the strengths and weaknesses, and this now is very important to know. We built the method based on a SWOT analysis, which means we tell you your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats, the internal and external elements. And this is probably the most, the highest added value to all other personality tests or assessment methods. We are resource oriented. We tell you concretely, do you have the potential as a leader? Do you have the potential as a communicator? But we do not invent it. It's your fingers. It's your fingertips telling this. Are you a person who is practically oriented? Are you a person who is mainly driven by mental, cognitive energies, and so on? So this goes into the practical life, be it private, be it professional. And I forgot a very important thing at the beginning. It's not only, they are not only independent from the DNA, the fingerprints, so your parents can have totally different fingerprints, but they are also independent from nation, from everything, from gender. The fingerprints do not distinguish if I'm a woman or a man. So we really should, I invite people to concentrate on their richness, inner richness of character traits than on outer elements such as being a man or a woman.
My goodness, I'm so excited, and at the same time, um, you know, I want to be tested. Honestly, is there any mechanism that you can do
Absolutely.
online, or like I mean, I have, oh wow, you
We have
got the app.
built an app. It's called MyMark, and
Okay,
you can. It's an AI, of course. You can make the photos with
okay,
this app and
okay,
send us one of the. We have 30 plus certified MyMark consultants. In the meantime, you can send us these prints via email, via with WhatsApp, and you get the analysis. Imagine in 3 minutes, you have strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats.
oh
Everything
my goodness.
detailed.
I am absolutely new to this, and I'm curious about myself, knowing about myself. I'm a people pleaser. I'm an enthusiast. I'm a achiever.
Defendant, you
Or
probably, I guess that you will go into the direction of the defender. But not only, as I said, we are always, and this is for me was such a gift to understand, such a bless to understand. First of all, we are not so different as we think, because these 5 patterns are worldwide. Only these 5 patterns. Doesn't matter if you're Chinese, if you are South African, if you are South American, if you're Swiss. It's always these 5 patterns. So why do we think we are so different? We are not. We are not from a character point of view. And this, for me, is philosophically, socially a wonderful message. The nature, it's not my invention, the nature gives us, and it's known since more than 100 years, that these patterns are universal. Since more than 100 years, no other patterns showed up. We think we evolve.
my goodness. And when did you know all this? I mean, when you were revealed to this technology, to this idea, and is it your own research, or you studied in your university, colleges, or maybe earlier, or like it is like from there are certain knowledge which are like there is from heart to heart, from one generation to another. So what was the point of time when you knew all about that there are fingerprints, and then you can have this test through biometric profiling, and then you know the personality, either one is enthusiast or people pleaser. And so just because I almost have given up my entire life pleasing people, but I mean, I got exhausted. And I'm sitting home doing almost my own choice things, that I'm talking to people. That's what I love to. I love beautiful, educational, and positive conversations, because this conversation gonna change me for my entire life. Because I still have confusions. Am I people pleaser? Am I enthusiast? Am I an achiever? Or like, I mean, my goodness,
Mediator,
yeah,
mediator.
or the mediator, or like, I mean, once I am clear that I am not a fish, I am a rock. So I'll just I will not swim then. I'll go to archives into some.
Exactly, you say
So
it. This is exactly the point.
so I mean, I'm so excited. It's not, I won't be ashamed of being one thing or not the other. It's okay if I'm not an enthusiast, if I'm not an achiever. I mean, nothing wrong with this. Come on, I want
No,
to live rest of my life peaceful, in harmony with myself, and I want to create whatever I can, create the future for this planet. That, because I mean, I am tuning into abundance, and that you can get me. I mean, one of my mentors told me when I started this global abundance organization. I said, I don't know anything about abundance, and you're asking me to take the voyage. And I also, I mean, like, I have the enthusiasm, and I want to achieve this, and I want to please myself and for sure to everyone else around. And I want to surely want to pay back to the society. But how would I do it? He said, I mean, come on, when you reach a point, you will find a guide, you will find a teacher there. Marianne, trust me, you are the game changer in my journey. My journey is to tune myself from scarcity to abundance. I want to change my entire, I want to rewire my brain from scarcity to abundance. And that's
you
the
don't have to rewire. It's there. You just have to
discover.
discover.
Wow,
That's the
oh
beauty.
my,
That's the
oh my
beauty.
goodness.
No rewiring.
Wow, my goodness. I mean, I don't need to rewire. Wow. I mean, come on. This is so sweet. It is. I mean, even there are no efforts. It's only, I mean, you have to just like change the perspective. It's this six is nine, nine is six. Just you have to just change the perspective. And okay. So I'll send you my, fingerprints, and I'll just get your app. Do you have any app? The Mark, the MyMark,
MyMark is called the
MyMark.
app. It's on
This is
all devices, known devices, from yeah, this, I don't know, on
okay.
each type of, Google
Okay.
and
I'll get the link from you, and then I'll paste it in my subscription so that the people can reach you out for their personality test.
yeah.
This is
And start, sorry if I interrupted you, start with the MSA, with the self-assessment. Start with the self-assessment, and then you have this wonderful comparison. Okay, the MSA, we call it the MyMark self-assessment. You see how you see yourself now. This is the classical approach, as you very well explained. And then you send me the fingerprints, and we do the MPT, and you will have the holistic picture. You will discover, oh, this is also me. I am also this, and so on. And I repeat, the most important thing is everybody. You said it beautiful. Everybody has strengths and potentials. There's no person on this world who has not strengths and potentials, but we also, every person has weaknesses and challenges. You see, but this is what I love philosophically. We are all in the same boat. We have to learn, and we have to understand, and we have to accept what we are and what the others are. And then we can have, and there is now the most important let's say, beautiful result. Once you know yourself and the others, you can have healthy relationship, constructive relationships. If I do know myself and I don't know the other, for example, I had partners, they were extremely introvert, and at the time I didn't know about this science. I thought, oh, he doesn't really love me, because if he really would love me, he would change. And this is the big self-deception or illusion in relationships. You think the other person can change in your way as you expect, but no, we can't. We are what we are. But if we don't know what we are, how can we deal with it?
And what's the point of change? Why I want you to change? I mean, it,
Exactly. Everybody has strengths and potentials. But you ask me if I'm the pioneer. No, I'm not the pioneer. I would like to go back. The discovery that the fingerprints are final in the 4th month of pregnancy was discovered by a British guy in India. Actually, it's still a system which is used by the forensic departments worldwide. It's called the Sir Henry system. He discovered that there are these patterns on the fingers. He named them, he gave them names, and he understood that they do not change. But he did not know at the time that there are the characteristics showed in these patterns, He just worked for the police and the forensic departments as identification tool. And this identification tool is still used today by the police. We know this. But not only police, now if you travel, you have to leave your fingerprints, Even in every airport. I just came back from Asia, and I saw this. I had in Italy. I was so surprised. Oh, also in Italy. Anyway, this was the start, the scientific proof and confirmation of yearly. The international forensic departments confirmed, yes, the fingerprints are final in the 4th month of pregnancy, do not change, and there are 5 patterns, 3 basic patterns and some sub-patterns. But the knowledge or the pioneer work to understand that there is a character connected with these patterns, the main pioneer is Richard Unger. And he's an American guy. He started in the 70s of last century, to observe people based on the pattern. Said, okay, a person with loop, that's the pleaser, behaves in a certain way. Okay, so for me, he is the pioneer. There are other very interesting authors and researchers. I've read them all, of course, once I started to discover this fantastic science, which also philosophically convinced me. But he, for me, is the pioneer because he went into details. He was very precise and so on. But what he did not have, and what I was looking for, he did not have a psychological approach. And this is, let's say, my merit, that I said, okay, now I want to create really these archetypes, such as C.G. Jung, archetypes of personalities, and then connect them with the strengths and weaknesses to life, professional, personal, and so on. And this was also my aim, my goal, not to complicate things, to make it as simple as possible, but in particular as concrete and practical. You should. The good thing is, with our test, you have concrete input how to start to your self-development, your personal development journey. You have concrete steps. And this was
Ma-
my, can you say, that's my, perhaps my merit. But of course, I'm not alone. I have a wonderful team next to me. And, you know,
that's the whole point. I mean, sure, I'm okay with the what police is doing or other agencies for sure. They also do it for the safety, security of the general public, which is very, very important. That I mean, for sure that, but that is the last resort for the security. But then, my main focus right now is the personal development. Like, I mean, it should start. I mean, every kid on earth, like 8 billion people on earth, must be fingerprinted. They should go through this test. I should know myself to start with, and then I should know my kids, the people whom
exactly. I
yeah.
can tell you, I could tell you one day all the wonderful experiences with kids. And because, as I said, they can be different from the parents and the parent. It happened to me. I didn't understand my son because he was so different. He still is different, you know. But the problem is, I didn't know why he behaved like this. I didn't know. And to be honest, I humiliated him because he's an overcautious person, individual. He's a pleaser and a mediator, and they are extremely cautious before they talk and act. They think. Yeah? So it irritated me, and I thought, oh, he's a boy. How can he defend himself when he is grown up? If he is so shy and cautious, you know. So this is just my personal example, but I could tell you many other examples that it helps parents to understand the difference of the personality, and so they can act accordingly and can help the child to develop the strengths and to deal with the challenges and the weaknesses. Imagine a 7-year-old boy. When I did the test, I did the whole family, and this boy, after I explained him his results, he's a pleaser and an enthusiast. He looked at me and said, oh, finally somebody understands me. He heard what he felt inside, but he didn't know. And the parents didn't know. It's not that the parents are not intelligent or not willing. No, they're ignorant. It's simply ignorance.
Such a blessing, such a blessing this app is, or such
This
an
method.
this methodology. And honestly, more I'm knowing about this, I'm getting more excited. There are tons of energies I'm getting out of all this, and I'm anxiously waiting to get tested, and I want to get tested each member, and I'll be
Do you
asking
have, do you
everyone.
have, do you have family? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got 4 boys, and I mean I want all of them to go through the test so that I know them, so that I can be more abundant, and they can also know their own interest. They have the, in fact, this is a basic human right, I think, to know
Yeah,
oneself.
human rights. I
let's
love
let's have a
this.
movement. I mean, let's a drive. Yeah, we can, we can start a campaigning that, I mean, this is to know yourself. I mean, come on, you.
Yes.
Now there are legislation is there that you have the right to know the documents in the government archives, what
Not the
decisions are
human
being made, and you have all those rights. I mean, you're living in 2026. This is AI era, and you're not knowing about yourself. It's a sin. I mean, it's not an ignorance, simple. It's not a crime. It's not a mistake. It's a sin not knowing myself. I mean, it's not only wasting your entire life, but you're as a manager, as a leader, as a family head, as somebody
parent,
important,
as a
as a parent,
parent,
someone who's responsible for some people under you. You
as a
are reusing.
teacher.
As sure, yes. Anyone who's got responsibility, and there are people under him or her, and he or she is not knowing the true potential, like, or the personality type is the basic of it. So it's like I will cooking a food, not knowing what are the ingredients, but I mean you're cooking, you're gonna waste. I mean, so
Exactly. And let's be honest, Zafar, isn't it the case that we know more our limits and our weaknesses than our strengths and potentials? This is normally the fact, and this helps you finally to know your strengths and potentials. Nobody saw before, nobody understood, nobody discovered.
very
So it's
true, very true.
reinforcing.
That I think, and if we don't do this, we are already late. We are already late. I mean, I think we should move on and we start this as a campaign. I am all there with you. If you want to be featured every Sunday or maybe on every Saturday, we'll just have a I'll sit one of the persons with me. I
Yeah.
will test them. I'll
Oh,
volunteer
that's
for
a fantastic
myself.
idea.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you're gonna tell it to the entire globe, and then we'll feature the entire story. Look, this person was this before and after during the process and after the look at the change. We will be very transparent. It's gonna be all live. People are watching this. So let's test this. Let's test the test and ourselves too. So I
Application.
yeah,
Application.
application. Yes, sure. I mean, and I'm brave enough to be true to myself, and I want to tell the truth to the entire globe. Look, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm so and so. If I'm not so and so, this is what I am. So I want in the entire globe to know what the personality type I am, so that they reach out to me
Mhm.
for the same thing, not the other. Like if I'm a rock, I'm a rock. No, I'm not a fish. It's okay. I'm not a fish. So I'll find my place elsewhere other than in the water. So, okay,
Mhm.
how's the idea? I mean, before I want your reflection, and then I'll go to the next question.
A reflection to what? To this proposal with the
Yeah, to
line.
this. Yeah,
Oh,
live. Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it because it is part of my work, to do this these assessments and this coaching. So I just would love to do this, and the more people profiting and having the benefits, beneficial gift of this information, I'm happy.
Wow. Thank you so much. My next question. I'm so sorry for I was overwhelmed, but I mean I'm back to my research questions. Like, as AI rapidly changes the job market and automated hiring tools proliferate, partners in your network hi- highlight the importance of understanding human hardware, our innate design. How can biometric personality assessment help leaders and mid-career professionals build resilience and find authentic alignment in an AI driven world?
Okay, I think that probably the most important factor is that you learn your personality as a being, as you are, as I said, as a pleaser, achiever, mediator, enthusiast, and defender. And this, and you have strengths and weaknesses. These are the so-called internal elements, and they are independent of the job you are doing. And take me. I have been working as a secretary, as a model, as a barmaid when I was young. I was a lawyer. I have a law firm, and that now I am a coach. But what is has been constant, I love to be and to have contact with people. I'm a pleaser. So you see, a pleaser has to do a job where there is contact with people. And it is as a barmaid, it is less as a secretary. In fact, I was very unhappy as a secretary, but as a lawyer and now as a coach, of course. And this is very important, so you understand the main basic character traits independent from the concrete choice of the job. So you feel your richness, your empowerment for many types of jobs, because the jobs are mostly is technical skill, is expertise, is knowledge. But what is more important is, if you are as an accountant, for example, and I would be totally unhappy as an accountant, because dealing with figures the whole day, and just as a pleaser, I would dry out, I would die, you understand? So this is very important as a leader, but also for a job, a decision. What am I? Huh? Perhaps I'm everything. I'm all five. Then the choice becomes vaster, But it doesn't mean that it is easier. It is perhaps more complicated, you know. So it's this is, and then the concrete capacities, you see them in your patterns. You see if you have a leader potential, because perhaps you were not aware. You see if you are a doubter. You see if you are a person who wants to be in a team, who feels well to be in a team. And this is so important. There are people, believe me, born, they don't like to be in groups. They like to be on their own. They feel uneasy in groups. They are even scared. So if you know this, you will not choose go to work in a big office where there are 50 people in one room. You will not be able to do a good job. Imagine I had, this is, for example, the defender type, archetype. The defender is a person very introvert, very reserved, very important for the defender to have control. So don't put him in a big office, in a huge, large office space. And I had a woman once, she said, "Oh, now I understand why I work best when I'm in a room alone and almost dark." She understood this, but she didn't understand why. And thanks to MyMark, she understood, it's because I need to be on my own when I work. Otherwise, I'm not efficient. I don't feel at my ease.
My goodness. Today, I am exposed to exponential potential. You know, they are in Silicon Valley, the people are working ways, breakthroughs in technologies, and every project is human driven, be it even AI. No AI can be an AI without human intelligence or basis of the human. What AI is doing is iterating the patterns of human intelligence. The whatever the recorded history has given so this is like all iteration.
Yeah.
Seeing you talking to you, and I really I have a proposal in my basically it's coming from my heart. It's not can't be, it could be foolish too. It's like the people in Silicon Valley, like Peter H. Diamandis, Slim Ismail, and the Gob Muazzad, and like even Ray Kurzweil himself. I mean, the singularity people, like or Anushi Ansari, the ex Prize guy, or there are lot. I mean, abundance. Like I mean, I my abundance or global abundance organization. This one is inspired by the abundance of Peter Diamandis. He's what he's doing in Silicon Valley. That is purely for profit, but this is for not profit also. So what they are doing, they are working on teams, and they are finding the new ways. No team, no new way can come without people, and the people, if they know where they fit, like if we are building a car, and if I am engine, and if you're using me as a tire, or or steering, or like a belt or whatever, so you're using, you're minimizing the utility,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And by the way,
you are misusing.
sorry, by the way, Harvard did these studies on teams. They together with Google, and they said, how does it come that also with people who do the same job, they are IT engineers, but if we have a team with different personalities, of course, they have their other assistants, they have their classical assessment, that's okay, but they found that the findings were if the team is composed of different personalities, archetypes, then it has much more chance to be successful than if they have the same personalities and even if they do the same job. Doesn't matter. And this is exactly what I try to say. It's not with the fact which job you do, but it is the fact, can you live your personalities, your qualities, your how do you deal with the challenges and so on, and then compose a team based on the personalities. You need a pleaser, you need an achiever to reach the goals, the pleaser to be to spread kindness and empathy. You need the mediator who is a cognitive machine. You need the enthusiast who is the visionary type, and you need the defender who says, hello, we have to go here into details. Don't be the superficial. You need all of them.
Wow, I mean, you took my heart and brain on the table. Honestly, that's what my whole point is. Like, we need everybody. A car need all equipments, and all the tools, and all I would say the body parts. I mean, and each one is important. Be it even a screw is also important, and engine and everything is so important. So that's how we go. Did you write any book on what you do?
I'm finishing my book.
Oh my goodness.
You won't believe it. Now I confess something. I'm not a reader and I'm not a writer. I like to exchange, as you see, I like to talk, to debate. I like so I really, I didn't want to write the book, but my colleagues and also my son, by the way, he said, Mommy, you have to write the book. My partner and so on. So yeah, I did it. I'm practically finished. And I would love that you help me to spread to the latest. And you know what the title will be? Conscious Egoists. To be a conscious egoist is a key for healthy relationships.
My goodness, you are coining a new term, conscious egoist. Oh my goodness. I mean, generally, we've grown up with an idea that is negative. But I mean, you're putting the term conscious. When I mean, if there is conscious,
And,
I mean, there
and
is no
this is
negative.
nothing else but if you know yourself, if you're conscious about yourself, and this is then you are the conscious egoist in the sense you know who you are, you know what you need to be happy, and only then you can make others happy. Because if you are not happy, you cannot make others happy.
And you can't be happy if you don't know yourself. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
it's exactly the
so.
equation is this. And that's why I don't know if which religion but I learned as a Christian that there is the quote, love yourself as you love your next. This is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, what I believe is like, I can't be just to myself if I am not just to you.
And
Okay,
first, it's you. We
yeah,
have to know.
is this me first? I mean, I have, because if you're on fire by yourself, so you'll have to put it off first, then you can go for others. So that's really, you know, I'm so excited for your book, and I, I honestly, I wish if you, before you finish it, I want to be the testimony in your book. You can take me the testimony. I mean, I am here, I'm brave
Hey,
enough. Oh yes, sure, yes, you can
okay,
take me as.
I will mention abundance. I will mention abundance. So
Yeah.
when we start this, yeah, with pleasure.
In, in fact, what you are doing, you are absolutely unleashing abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. This is what you are exactly doing. This is not a book, this is a
Repeat
tool.
it. Repeat it. I didn't understand. Unleashing.
Yes, you are, by writing this book, you are unleashing abundance of health, wealth, and happiness.
Ah, oh, that are big words. Big words. I mean,
So
I
that's
think
yeah,
for me the biggest ambition is to accept myself. This is the biggest award I can give me, that I accept myself, because then I can start to accept the others.
that's best of your gratitude. That is best of, because you are you are the creator's best creation. You are the best of the best creation of the creator. And if you are like loving yourself, and if you are egoistically in love with yourself with conscience, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what else better can you do to yourself? And what better you can you do to this globe, to this planet? And if you like, I mean, if I love myself, how can I steal someone's money? How can I, rob or kill or deceive someone? Because this will not, this will never give me happiness. So to being like selfish, like for myself, to be to I want, if I want to be happy, I cannot do any sinful activity. I cannot do anything wrong, just because I will not be happy then. So I always say that the the I need to get aligned with myself. I can
Yeah.
only get aligned with myself if I am aligned with my creator. And creator
And
knows you the best.
knowing your limits and knowing your potentials, and
And okay, if we applied, I mean, other than ourselves, like you and me, an entire globe. If you and me are the north and south poles, and if we apply it on the whole longitude, latitudes altogether, so look at the positivity. Like if people, I mean, they think alike, and this is so scientific. This is so natural.
mhm.
What your work is absolutely, this.
It's exactly it. This is nature, and let's be honest, nature is genius. We just were talking about with my partner about the effect of garlic. How wonderful garlic. Nature is in any part genius. And so are these fingerprints patterns, and it was just there, and some people started to read it, and I made this method, and it will never finish. We will always learn and add to this method, thanks to the humans doing the test.
My goodness, I mean, today I'm open to a new universe. Okay, my next question. You applied Swiss precision to behavioral diagnosis, helping people understand internal friction such as balancing the drive of an achiever with the balance of a mediator. How can teens leverage their structural clarity to resolve deep-seated conflict and foster high trust.
How can who? I didn't understand this.
I'll
A
go again.
person,
I'll go
any
again.
individual.
I'll go again. You've applied Swiss precision to behavioral diagnosis, helping people understand internal friction such as balancing the drive of an achiever with the balance of a mediator. How can teams leverage this structural clarity to resolve deep-seated conflicts and foster high trust? As early you were talking about the how every person has a place in one team, but I mean this is talking about the conflict. The people do have conflict within themselves. So having those conflicts, how can the team foster higher trust?
I think it's, I would start with the word conscious. Let's assume in my case, I'm a pleaser. And as a pleaser, I have to know I have this and this strengths and I have this and this weaknesses. Okay. So this is already a conflict in myself, you know. I have positive and I have critical parts. It's like a battery, the negative and the positive. So it is this, let's say, this acknowledgement or this consciousness. Okay, I'm never in balance. Perhaps I'm in balance for certain moments, for certain minutes, perhaps maximum an hour, but then the dynamic restarts, you know, the conflict, which the conflict is nothing but a dynamic of two things which are not equal. They're different. And this is exactly the point. So imagine in the pleaser, you have this potential of conflicts, this dynamic between the weaknesses and the positive things, the kindness and the critical part of a pleaser, for example, is to be not to have the courage to tell the truth, not to have the courage to say, oh, actually, I would like to go and eat the pizza, not fish, because I just had a pizza. And no, they don't say this to pleasers because they don't want to spoil the kind, the environment, the relationship, and so on. And imagine when you have a second profile. I'm an enthusiast, very mental, and there is the conflict is, oh, always another perspective. But when you talk to other people, they don't understand you. And then you are frustrated. So you have a conflict. They said, oh, come on, there. It's not worth it. You withdraw, or you, in this conflict, said, no, I believe in what I think, so I have to talk. I have to make questions. So it's all about this consciousness, this knowledge about it's like having instruments. You know, you can play on a piano, you can play on a guitar, you can play on a drum, and you have to choose, but you can only choose if you know. So we come back to the fact you have to know who you are. And now I'm talking only about the internal elements, which are the profiles, these 5 profiles. And then the second layer are the potential and challenges, how you act. Is it a person, am I a person who feels always responsible? Automatically, because this is innate, believe me, it's crazy. There is a pattern which shows the client, oh, now I understand why I always feel guilty and responsible and blame myself, because it is an internal unconscious mechanism. But now that I'm conscious, I can say, wait a moment, I feel guilty. Let's talk about it. Or just turn the page, knowing that it is an internal challenge mechanism, you know? So you have the various strategies you can choose, but the premises, you know it.
And then the worst.
Transparent. You said you are willing to be transparent. This is the beauty. it's easy to be transparent when you know that everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Why shouldn't you be transparent? You just have other strengths and weaknesses, but you are not the weak and the strong. No, nobody is weak or strong. No, everybody has weak and strong parts. Everybody. So
Eh,
it's easier to be transparent.
yes, I really, really agree. All points well taken. And surely, not being transparent does not help anybody, even not oneself. I mean, if suppose if I'm not transparent, I am deceiving myself. And how long I can deceive myself if I'm not a people pleaser and I'm people pleasing, and how far can I go? I'll burn out. Like, I mean, since you working, you're a mental health coach also, so you see the burnouts. Why the burnouts are there? Just because we are living others' life. The targets are not yours, but others.
Yeah.
The, so that I think being transparent is, is a blessing. I mean, be blessing to yourself. Don't be cursed to yourself. Like, I mean, being not transparent is a curse to me. And I it's like none of the big deed that I'm doing being transparent. I think everybody should be, because this will ease one's life. Like as you said, I mean, this is amazing. My next question is the last one. It's about cultivating abundance through self-awareness. I mean, as you do, and you are the preacher of it. Our show focuses on building a mindset of abundance. From your perspective as a mental coach and founder, how does truly knowing and accepting one's unique inborn potential pave the way for personal abundance, healthier relationships, and lasting success?
Mhm. Well, it's hard work. It's really hard work and it's never ending work, believe me. But it is also fun and it's rewarding because every little step, and as I said, our method is based on concrete steps you can take after you get the results of your assessment, which profiles with potentials. You have concrete steps you can take. You can also self control them, but the most important thing is that you understand that the best learning curve, the quickest learning curve you have, if you are transparent with others, with people around you, with people you trust, can be the partner, can be the kids. The kids are the best coaches. That's my conviction. Kids are the best coaches you can have as parents. But on a job, you have certainly or hopefully people or some people you trust or a friend, and talk with them and expose, listen, look, this and this happened. I know I have this challenge. What do you think? And then you gradually you really change your mindset. Your reactions become different because you experience, you feel the difference of quality for yourself, how you see yourself. First of all, you have to liberate yourself from self-deception, from lies. We have been telling us lies for perhaps for decades sometimes, or we have been told lies and so on. So liberate yourself, be transparent, so you will feel freer. And this is a good basis to start to talk, to share with others. And relationships automatically change for the better.
Marianne Volante, honestly, I don't want to finish this session. I really enjoyed it. I felt excited. I felt very happy, joyous, and I took a lot of energies, positive vibes from your
Almost
com-
embarrassed.
coming all the way from Switzerland to Pakistan. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to our next session. I mean, is it on the next Saturday or Sunday, or what time are we meeting next?
I like Sunday because Sunday is always a bit the boring day.
Yeah, same here. I mean, Sunday in my, my lovely, because I do all have
But I
lots
don't
of.
know for you. You have to. You are the boss. You are the
No, no,
organizer.
no, I'm not the boss. I'm hungry for knowledge and experience, and the people coming from your end. I mean, you've got entire life into experiences and reading, writing. Such a huge treasure of knowledge is lying with you. And I also have a society in Silicon Valley. That there are people like more than 350 people in Silicon Valley. I'm one of them, and I'm honored to be one of them as a member of the society. And they believe it's a sin and it's a shame not to tell what you know. Tell it all. I mean, this need deserve everyone deserve your knowledge. Everyone deserve to know the experience you have, and you deserve the honor to sharing this knowledge. I mean, that's an honor, that helping people who are, you know look at the people who are totally. This is, as I earlier said, the human is the best of the best creation of the creator, and we are spoiling ourselves living others life,
And
not
we
knowing
don't
what,
use our brain. We don't use our brain.
and not knowing we are consuming ourselves, or we are living an unhappier life just because our glass is upside down, so we need to put it upside up. So that, I mean, whatever it is come, then so that's whole of my what I'm trying to unleash abundance of health, wealth, and happiness is through you and the people like yourself, and you people are
And
abundant.
everybody has the basis in him or herself. Everybody.
So to millions of the people, and the rather, we have 8 billion people on the face of earth at the moment. So you are a torchbearer of personalities. You tell us what personality we are of type. So
Mhm.
thank you so much, Marianne. It was an honor featuring you on Abundance Show. Last message to the planet, and then we call off the day.
Last message is what you said. It's a right. You have the right to know about yourself and, in particular, about your strengths and potentials. Everybody has, and this is the guarantee. I guarantee it. Money back if you, if you don't find.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Since I have got your other numbers too, so I'll be connected with you. So we'll plan maybe next Sunday, or
Yes?
whatever suitability
Will
we'll check
you
out.
send me your fingerprints or somebody else's fingerprints?
I'll
And
I'll send you mine and others too, just because I want this to be part of your book also. And the first person I want to volunteer, whatever positive, negative, I want to be featured like globally. Not a problem. I want to be transparent at least. It doesn't matter how bad, good I am. Thank you so much, Marianne
thank you,
Volante.
Zafar. It was a great pleasure and have a lovely evening and looking forward to meeting you again and talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank